All right, into the draft then. Game number 2. Currently, Roll20 leads 1-0 over MVP Black.
So in this map, we could be seeing a ban at some point, or even maybe a pick away onto the Lord of MVP Black's Terra Diablo, just due to his incredible AoE shrine clear on this map, and of course, the efficiency with Roll20, but Dread is waving a pen at me.
Because they didn't ban Medivh!
Yes.
What does that mean for the draft?
That's scary on this map.
They first pick it? What does MVP Black do? Because
they must.
I don't know. I've never seen this.
Roll20 at this pause just like,
wait a minute.
Now, we didn't see this coming.
We need the Admiral out. It's a trap.
I feel like all preparation for this series for Roll20 was like, we can assume Medivh is off the table.
Yeah.
Just throwing the notebook in the air, just like, well, back to our normal stuff then. The question is, what do you ban out against? What counters this composition from Roll20?
One thing that's particularly interesting when we talk about Battleground strength is that this is a very rare map in Korea.
Yeah.
Is that games played competitively are very, very low for a lot of the Korean teams, particularly MVP Black, and it's Roll20 conveniently. It's near the top, not their most played, so banning out Ariel, a focus on these supports.
I think it's smart to fear the Ariel Vala is the AoE cross-supporting outside of a colossal leyline play. It really is difficult with that Medivh that I think we can expect a snap. It will be a Medivh Diablo 100% rotation in the 1-2 for Roll20.
And they're forcing MVP Black to pick up Malfurion so that they do just get it for free. There's no way really for MVP to just give that over unless they are comfortable moving down to a potentially lower tier support.
Again, I think it goes to what Dre just said, is that I think Roll20 is willing to forego one of the top tier supports to play to one of their most dominant 1-2 combos in Diablo and Medivh. It's like too juicy of a target. If this is not snap locked, I'll be surprised.
I'm surprised.
Not a snap.
I'm surprised.
1 second into the picking phase. There we go.
Dibbles.
Here we go. All right.
Snap lock.
They're turning up the heat, boys, because this is important. If MVP Black does not win the game off the back of these drafting decisions alone, never mind anything else, Dread.
To be honest, after knowing the map, knowing the strength of Roll20 with that combo and how fearful MVP Black's been for it, I already feel like I just don't know what MVP Black can do. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the strategy is unbeatable by any means, but it's just such a comfort. And again, like the meme of the Medivh call, you don't do that.
It's not even just the fact that they executed it well. It's the fact that they have been so clearly fearful of these two components when they weren't even against Roll20, when they were against other Western teams.
Yeah, they have shown mad respect for it. But when against maybe the creators, if you will, of the Diablo pickup, they're not afraid of it. Abathur is removed, so not going to let the double global. I respect that ban coming out from Roll20. I think that was very heads up. Concerning the macro play, the strategy isn't that good until post 20. And even then, if you have to spec into Medivh's 20 to wave clear and not lose the video game, you aren't necessarily feeling comfortable about your draft.
Now it's up to Roll20 to figure out who their secondary option is going to be. Now, looking at this initially, you look at 2 prime targets between Malfurion. You've got Dahaka that you can lock in up there. Li Ming's being hovered, but I'd be far more worried about the potential second warrior that might be coming in here in Leoric.
Yeah. Leo is a comfort for Roll20. Yoda specifically, though he is the Li Ming player, he is also the Leoric. Roll20 has a very interesting dynamic on who plays which hero, so it is comfortable for them to move into that, what me and Gilly call the easy bake oven, with the Entomb into Lightning Breath. It's a really powerful tool, or even Apocalypse here. I expect Apocalypse by default because Medivh is just way too easy to set that up.
On that subject, like you said, we have Medivh. Zerator is still open. If they wanted to go all in on that style, it would be very much missing out on some substance of the team. Lots of work around, though.
Yeah, and there it is, Leo Greymane.
Yeah, I would, against Roll20, and we talk about the way that they play this, is that they make sure that the Leoric is their solo laner, Medivh is the scouter, and then they just kind of work around that. Again, Li Ming is threatening, but the fact that Leoric, I would, knowing Roll20, and maybe it's just because we've watched them so much, I would be a little bit more worried about that, but Roll20 gets what they want in both Leoric and Greymane. Things shaping up here for Roll20 look really good.
I really hope MVP Black comes out and bodies this game.
has a plan.
Just because, I
Yeah.
cannot fathom that MVP Black gets to this point in time with so much respect in the group stage and other parts that when they go down on first game and go up against Roll20, that they walk up and just say, we don't even care, we have no respect for this. It feels just so mind-blowing that I hope they just justify it. Like, I get just my thought process on this obliterated because it is giving everything over to Roll20.
I mean, let's put it in perspective here. If MVP Black has effectively given Roll20 this composition, the composition that Roll20 100% wants. If Roll20 wins this game and goes 2-0 up against MVP Black, North America going up 2-0 against MVP Black, no offense by any means to North America, but that is monumental in this series.
Yes.
Here's one thing that you start to think about things that counter wombos. Two level 7 talents spring to mind between Arthas and Tychus.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is one way to deal with like this stun heavy. You know you're going to get stunned. It's almost unavoidable that it will happen at some point. Tychus and Arthas have 2 talents at level 7 that can deal with that. Tahaka has an ability to where he can go underground, and Genji, for what it's worth, has so much mobility that it's almost impossible. Post 13, Malfurion has Ice Block. So if you're looking at tools that work well on the map, work well in your composition and your comforts, and have talent choices that can accommodate the potential wombo that's coming, MVP Black does have that in their arsenal.
Time for predictions, Tetcher.
Roll20, they have exactly the comp they want. They have insane Shrine Clear. I can't, in good faith, give this to MVP Black, so I have to go with Roll20.
J-How?
This could be the toughest, I think. And I think I've been wrong twice already. Give me Black.
Yeah?
Yeah. You can roll red, I'm rolling black.
All right, and
Snap Roll20.
do you want my sign or?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
You gave him a Deep Diablo on Infernal Shrines. There is no way, just being from North America, I can walk away from that and be like, not vote for it. There's no way. They, just winning the last game, what they've got now, I love the what you brought up with the talents. I can see the thought process from MVP Black.
Yeah.
They didn't just go, oh, this is weird, but there's no way in my heart I can just walk away from that. Roll20 got everything.
I'm excited for this one. Now, let's see what chat thinks as well going into this series. And whoa, hello. hello there. All right, 87% of you out there think that Roll20 might have a good shot going into game number 2. This is going to be an exciting one. Let's head over to the commentary team. MVP Black going up against Roll20, 1-0 in currently favor of North America.
Grubby, in his finest, about to show you why they got here to the Mid-Season Brawl.
Yeah, Roll20 fans are getting very hyped right here because the infamous Medivh and Diablo comp is back. We didn't think they'll get it one more time. Glarung didn't think they'll get it even one more time in this tournament, but here they are. And MVP Black is about to show why they don't fear this combo, or why they should. Here they are in Korea, in Sweden, from Korea, in the blue, MVP Black, Reset on Genji, Kyocho on Dahaka, Merryday on Malfurion, Tist on Arthas, and Sake on Tychus.
And in the red, up 1 game in this best of 5. Glarung playing Medivh, Justing on Diablo, Yoda playing Leoric, Prismaticism playing Greymane, and Buds playing Rhaegar. They are Roll20.
4-man root by Arthas. Diablo goes down. That's a great start for MVP Black. First blood went to Roll20 last game. This time the reverse is true. It's small peanuts, but it can be an important psychological motivator. Because MVP Black already cannot get 22-0'd by this comp like they were on Team of the Spider Queen in the group stage.
Good point. No shutout possible here, at least for Roll20.
No, I do think Roll20 will settle for 22-1, but still, that's the first takedown to MVP Black. And here's the thing. We're getting very hyped here to see this combo come back again. This is not meta. We've seen very little Diablo. And it is beatable, like Dreadnought said, but it's such comfort picks here. Roll20 psychologically cannot give over to the hype of having the comp. This comp will not win the game for them. They need to execute it with the same level of discipline that they showed last game. And if they do so, they have a good shot. But let's not forget that MVP Black running Tychus have a lot of sustained damage on Diablo that they were missing last time around when they went up against this. Black has a more well-rounded draft. They have power picks. They have a Dahaka with the global component. So Black is well equipped to deal with this. And we've got a game on our hands.
Yeah, that's a great point that you're making, Grubby, and that is that MVP Black has played versus this before. And Roll20, they are being able to get through for now, although with a Genji kill, they're going to get 2 takedowns here.
Yeah, and that was very close for a reset to go down as well. But yeah, you know, Roll20 has so much experience with this, but at the world stage, it's not only about what you can do, it's about what you can do when the pressure is turned on. So far, Roll20 not looking too hot, but let's keep in mind that they've won other Infernal Shrines games this tournament where they fell behind early. They show, if they show that discipline, I hate to harp on it, but then, you know, as long as you've got 3 keeps, you're in the game. And last game, as long as you have a core, you're in the game. But for now, MVP Black is doing a great job. They're starting to take the Shrine control. They take down a lot of skeletons. They might be looking to get that first objective here.
The reason why this draft works for Roll20 so much, why it is the best show of their skill in Heroes of the Storm, is because of the teamwork that is necessary to pull it off.
Yeah.
And that Glaurung places Medivh allows him to lead the charge. He places the portal where he wants his team to go. And at 13, Justing turns from the warrior to
the damage
almost
dealer.
The primary damage dealer. Yeah, once he gets devastating charge, it is truly just that, devastating for a team, especially on this battleground where there are so many walls that he can throw his targets against.
And with Devil's Due, where he gets bonus healing from Regen Globes, Justin also becomes the top healer in the team. Diablo
He's got it all.
has it all. But, you know, Diablo's survivability is heavily banking on the fact that he gets 100 souls. As the Lord of Terror, he needs to go around, kill minions, collect the souls, and it gives him bonus spell shield, it gives him bonus health, and until that point, Diablo is not the hero he is meant to be. And when you get there, you may never die. Because if you die once in the late game, yes, you get the instant resurrection on Diablo, but you are instantly not even half as survivable as you were before.
The one other thing I want to point out as we are approaching the mid game is that the one thing that Roll20 is lacking with this comp, Malfurion. They are very used to having Malfurion with this. It has roots underneath whatever target Diablo wants to go after. It allows them to get a lot of extra damage with Twilight Dream. Buds' Twilight Dreams are incredible, but he doesn't have that here. Instead, he gets the burst healing from Ancestral Healing. He'll have Earth Shield potentially too if he wants to get that at 13 to enable that. He has Wave Clear as well, but it is not the same.
Yeah, I think you make an excellent point there, because we've seen some amazing Buds through the portal, Twilight Dream, Force of Will, protect them back again, and it just gives you the amazing positioning on it. And Rhaegar cannot offer that same thing. Rhaegar maybe offers a bit more burst damage on the single target, but indeed not the same lockdown and control. So it's going to be coming down to things like Entomb.
Yeah, and he does not want to go through a portal for a butt bite unless he is sure that it will be where he can get back out, because there's a lot of lockdown on the other side. Speaking of that, we've got a big fight happening here in the bottom lane. Justin using Shadow Charge on reset to give him the positioning needed to get out of danger.
2 very cool things happened there. Medivh has Force of Will. Glaurung, he never used it. He saw that everyone was getting out easy as you please, and rather than using it as a mitigation tool, he keeps it as an option. He doesn't just want to block a bit of damage. No matter what, Glaurung wants to make sure that someone doesn't die. And since there was no kill pressure, he didn't use it. Teams have gotten very good at going in between Force of Will timings to get a kill right after it gets used. That's like an on switch for them.
Yeah, and in this case, if he can keep it for himself so that he can stay alive, in this case, not being able to keep Greymane alive, but keep it for himself so that he can keep stacking his Master's Touch stacks. But MVP Black is playing around this composition so well here in the early game, getting all of the kills, getting the first Immortal, and working on the next.
Yeah, just like you said, MVP Black is playing around it so well. They make sure that the damage that comes out on Roll20's heroes comes out in a trickle, a sustained damage, if you will, is how people call it. And they don't want to just burst. They want to make sure that they bait out that first Force of Will and then continue. And who better than Arthas to inexorably continue with that damage, with those slows, And Roll20 is going to have to buck up here if they want to make sure to win this game, because they are 0-5 in takedowns.
Might be 0-6.
Prismaticism does get away this time around.
Punisher grabbed for MVP Black here in the bottom lane. The tower's already taken out and the fort has taken some damage. So this will be the first fort of the game going down in favor of MVP Black. Roll20, just waiting until they can get heroic abilities. That changes things a lot. We'll see if we get the easy bake oven of Lightning Breath and Entomb, or if instead Justing will get Apocalypse. There's a lot of really good places to get value out of an Apocalypse.
Yeah, but it's those fights around the shrine where Diablo is the best. And they have not been able to stand toe-and-toe with Black, with MVP Black, because Roll20 has always lost someone in lane in the intermediate phases. And this is what MVP Black has been doing great. They know that in terms of a shrine fight, there's a lot of threat. But in between, they have had the better rotations, the better catching people out. Yoda now gets away, presumably. He did already use Drain and Wraithwalk, and the Leyline Seal will be a miss. Yoda gets taken out, and Leyline Seal is down. This is huge. If only Yoda goes down, it's whatever.
Oh, it's Sake. He gets hit. Twilight Dream counters this, though. Prismaticism has to use Reset just to dive back in range of the fort. Known of Roll20, able to get a kill, but they pull Tist over in a choke, and they are body blocking. Ancestral healing along with Force of Will. Apocalypse drops down, but still Roll20 doesn't get a kill, losing 2.
Yeah, Leoric came back, and this looks like a win here for MVP Black. Justin does what he can, but the Force of Wills are down. Even as Arthurs runs out of mana, it's takedown after takedown. Now Prismaticism going for Sake, but he will fail in this endeavor as well. And MVP Black is deleting hero after hero, and that's 4 kills in a row.
Glaurung hoping he can juke and jive back and forth between the portals. Leoric, is this his 3rd death in this fight?
Yep, 3 fights in 1 death. But he did kill someone this time.
Yes, at least at Roll20 finally got a kill, but I'm not sure that in that case it was worth it. Now MVP Black are 13, are 2 levels ahead, and that puts them in a very good place for the next Punisher phase.
Roll20 is not the same one that they showed last game. MVP Black has turned up a lot of pressure here, and Roll20 is crumbling a little bit. From the Leyline Seal saves to thinking that a 4 versus 5 fight was going to work out, MVP Black easily shrugged off all that pressure that was being shown.
Roll20 may choose to push another lane at this point, knowing that they can't fight with an even talent tier, or they'll hope that they can just fight being down 13. It is one of the lesser talent tiers that you can sometimes be able to win a fight still around. It's not like you're 10 or you're even 16. Yeah, they're heading up to the top still. They have Leoric to be able to split soak, but that is a lot of pressure on the battleground against Roll20, so they've got to try to make something happen fast.
Now we see Leoric coming top, so it's the second option you mentioned. They're going to fight down a talent tier.
Force of Will, Justing dives out. They've got a portal, and they'll have another soon. Entomb hits Curse Ball at Kyocha!
Whoa! Leyline Seal misses Kyocha because he burrowed. He takes a lot of damage, turns on adaptation. He does get away. There was a big cursed bullet there as Roll20 does massive damage to the front line, but are now faced with the situation where they are still up against Twilight Dream, Army of Northrend, and they're choosing to take this fight.
Yoda's distracting Reset. Ancestral Healing doesn't hit. Twilight Dream obliterating the members of Roll20 now up in the shrine. Sake nearly gets taken out, but with a regrowth will survive. Team wipe for MVP Black.
And thus the desolation of Roll20 is complete. Diablo gets the instant revive. He can only make use of that time by clearing the Impalers that should have been cleared a long time ago. But Roll20, they threw it on an all-in gamble. That discipline that they showed last game is remarkably absent this game. Leoric had a choice to clear double lanes, to kill Mercs, but Roll20, they put it all on that team fight, and they failed. MVP Black, they shut them down hard. They got the kills. They showed amazing team fighting there. And then from anything from the Ancestral hitting, and now Diablo Souls has been reset, MVP Black is just looking great. And they're giving them the whopping that Roll20 gave them in that group stage game. It's 16-1 in takedowns.
Yeah, it was a risk, but it was a calculated risk for Roll20 to try to fight, even though they didn't have 13. But it's one that turned a 2-level lead into a 3-level lead now for MVP Black, even more so for a brief moment of time having the double talent tier advantage even.
There's one thing I can say. If Roll20 win this game, MVP Black has got to be devastated after that game 1 and 2. It's looking not likely, but if it happens, I would say I'm pretty confident for the 3-0 shutout. But so far, it does look like we have a series on our hands here.
We can expect MVP Black to use this long amount of time where they have a 16 advantage to just obliterate all the lanes of Roll20. They're hoping that they can get a lot of mercenary camp pressure, use those mercenary camps to take down towers and lanes, open up keeps for further Punisher pushes, and push down in this mid too. Mid happens to be where you will often bait a Punisher as they get later and later. So if they're able to take down mid, that eliminates that possibility for Roll20.
Oh, that's a great point. Diablo doesn't get the overpower over the gate, but that's actually a great point indeed, because top and bottom keep are defended by mid with that pull.
Yeah.
So you take out the middle teeth and give a gap-toothed smile to the defenses of Roll20. And that's what MVP Black is doing. I mean, there is literally no way to get ahead as long as Roll20 doesn't move out. There's nothing on the map that will actually give you anything in between objectives. So I must admit to some level of surprise here that MVP Black is going away. But what they are doing here is prepping mercenary camps for the next objective. They want to make sure that the next objective, just like everything else so far, is going to be uncontestable by Roll20. But are you not surprised that they're moving away from mid-keep here? 3-level lead?
Yeah, the mercenary camp went down, but I'm a little bit surprised they didn't try to take more. But it may just be that they want to play the safe game, get towers. There's 16-1 in kills, and every time they can show up in forced positioning of Roll20 is a time when Roll20 is not out in the battleground trying to soak multiple lanes and catch up.
Sure.
MVP Black are so far ahead, their lead is so severe that it would take a miracle at this point for Roll20 to be able to come back.
Yeah, that's a good point. And MVP Black does get that double mercenary camp pressure again. There's a lot more nuance. Oh, the N2 miss. There's a lot more nuance here to the way they're doing it than just brute forcing down mid. So can definitely dig this approach. And it's also well orchestrated to have priority positioning once again on that shrine.
Yeah, MVP Black will be in your face when they know they need to be and they are confident about being in your face. The difference between, say, E-Star and MVP Black is if E-Star's the butcher in your face, MVP Black is a Zeratul.
Yes.
In and out, exactly, calculated, perfection. They've had trouble this tournament, but they are definitely very good at this game.
Yeah, and they are recapturing their confidence and their stride. And MVP Black, they're in it for the long run now. They are looking at level 20 greedily. And they know once they get their Storm tier talents, they will have Bolt of the Storm, Twilight Dream engage. And then not even the combined protection of Buds and Glarung, Rhaegar and Medivh will be able to save just about anyone. You'll see an immediate dive on someone like Medivh or Greymane with that silence. And it will be very hard to stop the advance here of MVP Black. Roll20 are going to make their last stand possibly here as level 16 is on the horizon, but not yet. So close and yet so far, and Leoric gets taken out.
Force of Will kept him alive for a long time, but this is a little bit of time where there is a 5 versus 4 and MVP Black hopes to make the best of it. Drag hits Justin, Punisher jumps in too, Ancestral Healing connects. That's a big health bar to be able to give Justin more time.
Apocalypse miss on 2 targets of that leyline seal. It's treading water here, and it looks like Roll20 is drowning. MVP Black putting the nail in the coffin here. They've got their Punisher at 2% life, but they are level 19. There we go with the Twilight Dream. Black claim another victim. It's a 5 versus 3. Leoric with the protected, but the core is under assault.
Kyocha's drags were everything this fight, constantly pulling people into the Frost Punisher's stuns. And now they look toward the core, hoping to tie this series up. Medivh is down, so is Rhaegar. Team wipe as MVP Black take out Roll20's core. They make it through the Medivh Diablo confidently with a 4-level lead.
22-2. That's gotta feel good for MVP Black and MVP Black fans to deliver as thorough of a beating as they had suffered at the hands of Roll20. It's not 22-0, but it's pretty darn good. MVP Black equalized the series with that 1-1 on Infernal Shrines here.
And importantly for MVP Black, they get through the 2 battlegrounds that we know Roll20 for, Battlefield of Eternity and Infernal Shrines. Roll20 has other battlegrounds they like, but those are the 2 that other North American teams will fear Roll20 on.
Yeah, in doing so, with Infernal Shrines and Diablo Medivh, MVP Black have, at the same time, disarmed 2 of the greatest inherent threats of Roll20. And that's a great way to go into a best of 5. Very crucial. A lot of things happened this game. Let's see what the analyst panel have to say about how MVP Black was able to win this game.
Absolutely right, Grubby. It's nice to see that MVP Black coming into this second game have almost overcome this specter, this phantom that was looming over them from the group stage, and they're able to quell that tide. So very, very impressive stuff by MVP there.
The only way that game could have gotten better if it ended 22-0 in favor of MVP. The only way it could have gotten better. That was so awesome to see just the heavy bait into the composition.
Yeah.
And then MVP Black's like, no, we have got this figured out. So well done.
More so than I was talking about the talent choices, which they made the proper ones, and so when the APOC hit late game, it was pretty unimpactful. But it was every single play that they made, regardless of talent choices. They put the pressure onto Roll20. And there was absolutely nothing that they could do. I was so impressed that they were able to recover from that game 1, which in everybody's eyes would be a failure when we talk about MVP Black, to dominate game 2.
Yeah, that comp is over now. MVP Black, like we said, have got it figured out. They just absolutely bodied nerds in that game. They did everything right. They got all the kills, did all the global soaking.
Yeah. It felt like overall, the Dread, they had a lot of control with things like the Arthas, with things like the Malfurion, over every single fight, being able to lock Roll20 down effectively.
Yeah, and actually that in our replay is what we're going to kind of highlight.
Okay.
The main thing here is I want to note the portal play coming out, but what MVP Black did this whole game is they split Roll20 around those portals. So we see Yoda getting focused so heavily down here on the bottom half of the map, and he's eating way too much pressure on his own. He tries to get the Ancestral, but look at up here on top, he has the Twilight Dream hitting everybody. They're focusing on that. You know, I didn't get to get the flashiest of plays this game because MVP, let's be honest, just ruined every one of these team fights. But it started off of a portal being dropped, and then MVP Black using the Arthas slow with Genji, and the pressure onto Leo, essentially going, we're going to get a reset and dive you, but when you portal, we're going to make sure both entrances and exits are splitting you. Like, usually you view that as an advantage, right? And they kind of used it as a disadvantage against Roll20, really.
Yeah, it can be very difficult in that situation when you are even a well-versed team with that kind of Medivh Diablo composition. So looking forwards here, I think one thing that's very important on the side of Roll20, if they want to continue trying to go through this series, is to not get too disheartened and disorientated by saying, okay, they just beat our best comp. Like, we need to just continue plugging away, keep motivated.
For what it's worth, it's a best of 5, so there's still plenty of battlegrounds to go. I'm curious what we're going to do. But first, Tomb of the Spider Queen was where the 22-0 happened during the first series. And that actually, win percentage-wise, I mean, we know how dominant they are, but win percentage-wise, since the HGC League started, they are 11-1 on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
All right, well, we can go to a short break here because just before game number 3, we will be on the way in just a bit more time here for the mid-season brawl. So join us after that when we have Roll20 going up against MVP Black.